Stalker 2 has finally arrived on cloud gaming platforms, and you might be wondering what cloud gaming service is the best to stream the game at 4K and anything less. Well, we're starting with a platform that has no limits, Boosteroid. Is Boosteroid up to the task? Let's get zoned in.
Why don't you come a little closer? Let me get a better idea.
So why am I starting with Boosteroid first? Well, Stalker 2 is made by Ukrainian developers. And as you might know, Boosteroid is also owned by Ukrainians. Both were made and maintained during the war in Ukraine, so I just had to cover the game on Boosteroid first. It just seemed right. They were also nice enough to send me a Steam key, because things are getting expensive around here.
I'm broke!
Now surprisingly enough though, this game is in Boosteroid's install section, so the game isn't officially approved on the platform, at least not yet. All this means is that you have to agree to the terms to install and play the game on Boosteroid cloud servers. This takes about a minute or so. Now Boosteroid supports the Steam and Xbox PC versions of the game. This means if you have Game Pass, you can use the Xbox version to play and continue your progress. Now both PC versions of the game have shaders. And my god, they are ridiculously long. So long in fact that I got an idle warning for termination by Boosteroid. That's how long these shaders took.
Your session will be terminated due to inactivity in 2 minutes.
Now I was on the Xbox version when this happened, but the Steam version seemed to go a lot faster. Now I'm not sure if they're on a different version or if something was patched between launching the Steam version. And yes, you'll have to load the shaders every time you start the game. Yeah. So I had some issues with my controller. My first several gameplays on the platform, I could use my controller with no problem. And then I couldn't. I thought it was originally a Boosteroid problem, but as I found out, PC in general is having this problem as well. So there's a chance you might be using mouse and keyboard. Sorry, mobile gamers. Now for the almighty graphic settings. This is where the Steam key Boosteroid gave me came in handy because the game does not have a native in-game FPS counter. And since I started with the Xbox version, the Steam version can use the Steam FPS counter to give us our FPS. So thanks Boosteroid, but of course I have to start over. Now they have the graphic settings set to epic on default at 4K. Now just like being in Ukraine right now, this is bold, but not recommended. I get under 60 FPS with these settings. So for those looking for that close to 120 FPS, this is what I recommend. High or the Epic preset, TSR or FSR set to performance, and frame generation on. For the most part, I would get frames from about 80 to 120, but it really hovers around 90 most of the time, 60 to 70 in denser towns. Now what about 1080p? Well, depending upon the scenery, you might get about a 30% increase. In towns though, it might go back to 60 to 70 because of the CPU bottleneck with more NPCs in the area. Now an important note, you will have to change your settings every time you load the game in Boosteroid. Graphics settings, keyboard settings, everything, every single time. They're gonna have to do something with that.
I can pay you.
He went towards the farmstead.
A few moments later.
We sent him packing towards the farmstead. Don't sweat it. The loot's gonna be top-notch.
Now I'm glad I killed these mother... Now for overall gameplay with mouse and keyboard, I didn't have too much trouble. I'm still getting used to the game, but I have to admit, there's a bit more delay than I would like. To help with this, I do recommend increasing your mouse sensitivity. Now since I play in 4K, I also noticed that playing on a lower resolution helps with input lag as well. Things were just a bit more snappy. I also recommend increasing your gamma so you can actually see in the game. Pitch dark. Sight. See the difference? I bumped up the gamma to about 60% or more, but this is up to you. Overall, playing Stalker 2 on Boosteroid on my modified Epic settings at 4K was a huge upgrade from my previous experience with the game on Xbox Cloud. It was like I was literally wearing a Stalker gas mask while playing, but now that I'm playing on Boosteroid at 4K, it's like I took the mask off and I can see clearly the way the game was meant to be played. The devs need to address the PC controller bug among other things, but Boosteroid played pretty well. Let me know your experience with Stalker 2 on Boosteroid in the comments below. And if you're interested for signing up for Boosteroid, the link is in the description. Make sure to grab their half-off special before December 1st. You can also use this link to sign up for a free Boosteroid account so you can test your latency to their servers. So if you like this overview of Stalker 2 on Boosteroid, give us a like. Also, make sure to join as a member of the channel or join our Patreon and our Discord in the links below. And above all else, make sure to subscribe to keep it locked right here at the only place we can do battle in gaming heaven, Cloud Gaming Battle.
Oh, and thanks for helping me tune this thing.